All right. Well, I'm hoping that I finally overcame this. The malarkey and shenanigans started awful early for me today, and I was absolutely unable to get my regular old computer working, and I think that might be a sign of age. So, we. I hope that everybody can see me, and I hope that you stuck around with me for the by one calendar 7 minutes, by another 22 minutes before I finally got this thing going. So thank you very much for being here. It's your old pal SamStone, and we are celebrating today because this is my very first ever launch day. Pretty happy and pretty fired up about that. I published the prequel to the Task Force Raven series about 3 months ago, but that was not quite as I guess for me, earth-shattering anyway. It was a pretty short novella, and I enjoyed doing it. But this novel that I have released today was quite a work, and it took a long time to finish. But I really enjoyed doing it, and I hope you're going to enjoy reading it. Let's start off. Let me shake off the cobwebs a little bit. Let's start off right. And this is supposed to be a launch party, so. It is, let's see, it's 12:08 here in the beautiful hill country of Texas. And thank you, Joshua. I appreciate you saying that. Joshua's chiming in with a little congratulations. Joshua, you're also entered into our giveaway, which we're still going to do. We're going to be giving away some stuff. I'll get into that in just a minute. But if this is going to be a real party, even though it's Sunday, it's our day of rest and our day of reflection and all that. But it is... Let's see, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of the mid-80s in the beautiful hill country, and we're going to be on our way to 90 degrees, a little higher than 90 degrees in a while. So it's worth cracking one open if we're going to have a party and enjoying ourselves. So if you, anywhere you are, hopefully it's 5 o'clock somewhere and everybody can enjoy themselves. So with no further ado, and by the way, another sign of age is knowing what the temperature is at all times. So that's always fun. 1 minute I'm watching my dad standing in front of the Weather Channel, watching it like a psychopath, trying to figure out if the second to second, if the weather's going to change. Next thing you know, I'm reporting the weather to anybody that may be listening. So I guess that's something. All right. So here's how we're going to break this bad boy down. So welcome again. Thank you for being here. I'm here in the Raven's Roost with my beautiful bride and our savage dogs. That one got sprayed by a skunk the other day, so that's been a real joy for us. What I want to do here is basically tell you just a little bit about myself. And for those of you who have already seen this on my socials and have gone to my website, I appreciate that. I am just a regular guy. I was lucky enough to have been placed into a lot of great positions over the course of my life. That's led me up to now. I've really enjoyed that, and I've had what I would consider, and my wife, a little inside joke between us is I'll give her a little hashtag blessed, but that's how I feel. I grew up in West Texas, came out to the beautiful Central Texas area, went to the University of Texas at Austin, where if I could live at the University of Texas at Austin, I probably would. I'm still a huge fan, and I live and die and bleed burnt orange. That said, I served for 30 years as a police officer here in Texas. I retired from the Austin Police Department after 30 years, and I did some fun stuff, but I was always just a regular guy. I was always just trying to keep my head above water and keep up with the heroes that I was surrounded by. So if any of you out there that I worked with or watching know this, that I have nothing but admiration for you, and I am so pleased and proud that I got to serve with you. So once I retired, I finally decided to launch my lifelong dream of trying to put down on paper what was going through this with all the snakes in my brain, and try to figure out how to get that out on paper. And I read as much as I could about it. A lot of stutter starts, a lot of trial and error, let's call it. But right back behind me over my shoulder, there's good old Hemingway Papa, and I think he said it best. He said, there's really nothing to writing. You just sit down at a typewriter and you bleed. So that has been my that's been my experience. Some days are better than others. Some days you sit down and you can't stop typing, and you feel kind of like that lunatic in movie Seven, where you're filling paper from side to side, bottom to top. And then other days you struggle through a few hours of trying to write, and you look at it and you say, well, that's not fit for the bottom of a birdcage. So that's where I've been. I encourage all of you guys to check in with me. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're at. And hey, you know what? Since I'm doing the old man thing, why don't you tell me what the weather's like there, just so I know where you're watching from and where you're at. I've got several people that are watching and have checked in and are now entered into the giveaways, and we'll do one of those here in just a little bit. Anytime you want to throw an emoji in there or throw any questions in there, I'm happy to address any Q&A. If you want to engage with me, I'd appreciate that. I'm seeing some of my family members are watching, so that's always fun. There's a friend of mine in Illinois where it's 70s and sunny. That sounds delightful, Deb. I'll bet that is nice. The only bad part is you have to be in Illinois. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to come out like that, but I appreciate you being here. Anybody else want to throw out their location? And we got somebody from Asheville, North Carolina. Beautiful place, man. I enjoy that. I enjoy going there. It's cloudy out in Asheville. I can't wait to get back out there. Central Virginia, there's sunny and cool breeze. Well, that's nice. I just actually got back yesterday from Taos, New Mexico, where I was doing a little contract work, and it was just absolutely delightful weather out there. All right, so let's get to the reason why we're all here today. Today is the launch party for my novel, Reaper, and it's part of a series that I have developed with my protagonist, Jake Baylor, who leads a team of Texas Rangers from the Texas Department of Public Safety, and they have a special governor's task force, the Governors in Extremis Force, where they are tasked with any kind of counterterrorism or responding to and mitigating incidents of mass violence. Akron, Ohio, cold and cloudy. Sorry to hear it, my friend. I hope you get out of that weather before you know it. I was in Akron actually 2 weeks ago, and it was actually pretty nice in Akron at that point. All right, so back to Reaper. This is part of a series, like I said. It started off with the prequel, which is my novella, Raven's Wrath, which actually, it's an origin story about Jake Baylor and his group. Jake started off as a Army Special Forces officer in an ODA, what we normally call Green Berets. And that's a story of one of their incidents in Afghanistan, and kind of leads up into the first book, Reaper. It's going to be a 3-book series, and I have the other 2 books pretty well fleshed out in my mind, if not completely outlined. The next book is outlined, and I have started poking around at it a little bit here and there. I've probably got a couple of chapters behind me on it already, so I'm looking forward to that. What I'm doing is, yes, I see somebody checking in from close by me in South Central Texas. Yeah, it is hot. I agree. And again, if you got it, pop it, and we'll enjoy ourselves together. This has been it's been a interesting way of doing things, but self-publishing is the route I took initially. A lot of creative control, not a lot of deadlines. You're able to do things as you get to them. The downside of self-publishing is, although I'm able to just load it up onto Kindle and or Amazon Kindle publishing and put it out there, you do have to do a lot of stuff yourself, which is not a real problem, but I had to engage the services of editors. I had ARC readers that were friends of mine that read that. Thank you, Kurt and Andy, for doing that. And you're going to get signed copies of the book in the mail pretty soon. And all the editing process, the quality control checks, and figuring out how to get this thing to market and marketing it have been a real challenge. So I've been doing it to kind of a one-man show from the beginning. The marketing part, as challenging as the writing part is, the marketing part is much more difficult, and it laid me low more than once. So I've actually engaged the services of a marketing professional that will be starting to work on that this coming week. So you might see some increased engagement on my socials. You might see some increased engagement across the spectrum of that, across Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it this week, and Threads. There's also a link on Goodreads, which is a service which a lot of you guys are familiar with. A lot of y'all are on there, and you can there's links to Amazon, and there's ways to read it. So I encourage you to do that. The link to the Amazon portal, if someone can confirm this for me, since I can't really navigate to it, if one of you fantastic people out there in the interwebs can take a quick look at the initial text on this, the welcome text, and click on that Amazon link, and tell me if it comes right up to the book itself. And what I can do is kind of navigate to that on my computer, which I'm sitting in front of right now. And let's see, and turn this bad boy around. Let's see if I can't turn my camera around. Try to figure that out. Again, it's old man territory at this point. Here we go. There we go. So that's going to be the website. I don't expect anybody to write that down. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Joshua. It worked. I appreciate that. It's on Amazon under Reaper, Task Force Raven Thriller, Task Force Raven series by SamStone. It's also got the link to Raven's Wrath and some information about me if you want some gee whiz information. It's available right now on hardcover, on paperback, and on Kindle. I know a lot of you guys have moved to the Kindle devices because they're easier to transport and everything. I've got one myself. You might read on iPads or whatever. Those of you who like, I'm glad to see that your hard copy came a few days ago. I appreciate that. I'm hoping that there's a couple different versions. One of them came in before one of my editors recommended to me that I put an acronym guide in there. If you follow police or military events, affairs, or if you're a veteran yourself, you know it seems like the federal government gets paid by the letter in their acronyms. So, and I know that can be challenging if you're not familiar with that. My beautiful wife tells me frequently that it's hard to follow because of all the acronyms. So I put an acronym guide in the newest versions that at the very beginning of it. So I hope you get a copy of that, and that should be in the ones that are released today. So soon I'll have the audiobook out for those of you who like to use the audiobooks and listen on Audible. I do that myself. I listen to them in the car all the time. And I have that out for auditions. I want to make sure that I get the best possible voice out there. I want a solid Sam Elliott type to read this book to you. And failing that, I'll get the next best thing. I've got a couple of really good dudes that have auditioned and have that really kind of good military Southern type drawl. That one of them's even from Texas, which is a big bonus. If you couldn't guess already, I'm fairly bullish on Texas. So I'm working on that, trying to get that out there. I hope to have that out within the next few weeks. Raven's Wrath, the novella, that's out in paperback, Kindle, and it is on Audible now. It's on Audible and Amazon with an audiobook feature. So I know some of you were asking about that. So that is available to you, and I hope you take advantage of that. And I want to also pass along that all of this stuff and all of these things have links on my website. My website, I've engaged a solid professional over in the UK, and talking to dudes from the UK is always fun. But he put it together for me and did a really great job. Stuart Grant of the Digital Authors Toolkit, shout out to him. Stu, if you see this later, or if you're on there now, I haven't seen you on there now, and it's probably not a great time for you. What time is it? It's late evening over there, but Stu, you did a great job, and I appreciate it. And I want to drive people to that site so you can get some more information. It's the best way to keep totally up to date and with my works and with the events that are taking place and if maybe we'll just get together on there from time to time and act slappy. So that's going to be at samstoneauthor.com, www.samstoneauthor, all one word, .com. That's going to take you right to the homepage, and there's a clickable button for you for visiting there and subscribing to my newsletter, which is just your email address. That will also give you a free downloadable PDF of Raven's Wrath. If you, that's just kind of my gift to you for signing up. I appreciate that, and thank you, Deb, for putting that link in the chat. I sincerely do appreciate that. Yeah, please check that out. Go over there and subscribe. And you just can't believe how important that is for an indie author that's just starting out, having a solid email list to be able to engage with. And the last thing I want to do, and I've done it a few times, or a couple times anyways, is send out blasts to friends and family and everybody I've ever met in my life, trying to get them to subscribe and like. So this is a more professional and a little bit less intrusive way to do so, which is what I'm trying to do. And I don't know if you can tell by this already, but I didn't set out in this journey to try to become the next Stephen King or Jack Carr or someone like a James Patterson who's so prolific they wake up and they accidentally wrote a book overnight. But I'm not going to be a guy that's going to put out 4 books a year. I'm certain that it's going to take me a significant amount of time to put out anything worth reading. So I'm not trying to make a killing here. It's nice to be able to sell things, but to me that's more a function of being able to see that people are actually enjoying that, and they're reading what I wrote and enjoying and engaging with me that way. So that's my main goals here, is to do that. I would love to sell a lot of books, because that just tells me that the people out there, people are responding to what I'm doing, and that's a good indication that I should keep doing it. That being said, I am all about feedback. So please engage with me, send me emails, send me texts, engage with me on socials. If there's something you saw in there that didn't make sense, if there's anything you saw that I could do better, if there's any kind of story arcs you'd like to see more of or less of, hit me up. I'm all about that. Like I said, if there was like Jake Baylor, my protagonist, he's got what they call a triple canopy. He's got on his shoulder from the military, he's got the Airborne, the Special Forces, and the Ranger tab. Well, the only tab I have on my shoulder is regular guy. And that's all I'll ever be. But I've been fortunate enough to work around a lot of people that are more than regular guys, that are truly have done very impactful things in the military and the police services. And I've got to learn a lot from them. And through my exhaustive research and reading, that's where, and from my family, that's where I get my love for the military, my love for the police service, and why I am able to write at least halfway credibly in those genres. The Reaper is dedicated to my uncle and my cousin. I come from a long line of servicemen, and especially on my mother's side. And my grandfather served for a full career, over 30 years, and he went from enlisting right after Pearl Harbor, like a lot of young men in America did, and he stayed with it until 1972, when he retired as a command sergeant major over an entire missile range in New Mexico. And so he served with distinction throughout World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And my uncle Buck, who was tragically killed in Vietnam, served with the 5th Special Forces Group, MACV-SOG, in Vietnam, and he was killed on January 19th, 1971, in action in Laos. So I was just a kid, or I was barely a toddler, not even that, still a newborn when he was killed, and I never got to know him. But his shadows lean large over our family for all that time. So to he and to my first cousin, Master Sergeant Andrew Fernandez, who was born in West Texas but lived most of his life in Florida and in Georgia, and finally in North Carolina. He served in the 75th Ranger Regiment in the 1st Battalion for about 10 years before he was selected for our nation's premier counterterror special missions unit. and in that capacity, in his first deployment with that team in northern Iraq on April 3rd of 2003, he was killed in action in combat with Ba'athist forces outside of Tikrit, northern Iraq. He was the first trooper from that particular unit to be killed during the conflict in the global war on terror, and the mission support site in Baghdad was held his name all the years that it was active over there. So those two have really informed how I've approached this, and I've tried to make sure that I do nothing to dishonor them, to dishonor my family, or dishonor the incredible sacrifice they gave. So that's the background for why I write in this genre and why it's so important to me and why I'm obsessed with it. So, and let's not forget my other Master Sergeant Fernandez's father, who retired as a command sergeant major from the U.S. Army. He's still out there kicking it in Florida. So, Uncle Andy, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're able to see this at some point later and hear what the comments were. Okay, moving along. You know what time it is? Let me see if I can't get this to work. It's time for a giveaway. Let's take a look. Let's see who's on board here. Let me see who's with me. I got Joshua, I've got Jamie, I got Kylan, I got Zoe, I got Eric. And by the way, let's see here. Let me make sure I've got everybody. I got Deb, Joshua, Deb, Jamie, Zoe, Steve, Will, Kylan, Zoe. All right. Stephanie. All right, guys. Well, let's do this. Let me pick a name out of the hat. Let's see the first person who signed on. Let's do that. Joshua, hey bud. I'm going to send you a signed copy of Reaper. I'm going to get that out in the mail this week. What I need for you to do, my brother, is to send me a DM on Facebook, and we'll talk offline so I can get your address, your mailing address, and make sure that I'll personalize that for you, and in case if you want to keep it yourself, or if you want to give that as a gift. And by the way, everybody, it's Father's Day is coming up, and although we love getting underwear, but and I was going to bring you're welcome, Joshua. I was going to bring a pair of my old ratty underwear on here just to kind of give you an indication, but then I realized that my wife doesn't let me have ratty underwear, so I went next door and tried to get a pair try to borrow a pair from my neighbor, who, if you could see my neighbor behind me, you'd know that the man lives in ratty underwear. But I wasn't able to do that, and he really didn't appreciate me asking, especially since he was wearing them at the time. But that's really beside the point. Let's give the gift of Reaper for Father's Day. What do you say? What do you say, folks? Let's try to get that going. All right. Next, let's keep this bad boy moving along. If you haven't been able to look at the book description yet, Reaper follows Task Force Raven as they respond to a terror attack on the border, and it translates into a series of terror attacks across the state of Texas. If you've ever wondered what it'd be like if a terror attack took place in the Riverwalk in San Antonio, you can find out in the book. Or the Houston Ship Channel, which is one of the Black Swan events that we're very worried about in counterterror. Or if you're ever wondering what if a major sporting event or sporting venue was targeted, and I mean a major one, or maybe two at the same time, you might want to poke through Reaper, because we get into all that. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Let me get back to some of the comments here. I don't want to. Dan, good to see you there, buddy. You still in New York, Dan? If you're still in New York, I bet you the weather's a lot nicer than it is here. But I kind of thought I read something about you moving back down here. And let's see here. We gave away one copy of Reaper so far, and we're going to do another one here in just a minute. But the I need a couple of comments, if I could, from you guys. Give you a few minutes while I kind of go into what's going on for me the rest of the summer. If you guys will send some comments in, tell me what's drawn you to this this webcast. What your favorite thing about the series has been so far. If any of you have been able to open up Reaper and poke through it at all, let me know if you've received Reaper, if you're planning on ordering it, if you have read Raven's Wrath. If you've got a good joke, man, put that in the comments, and I would love to see that, because whoever gives me the most compelling comment here is going to win the grand prize before we get off of here, and it's going to be a ball cap. All right, I'm going to show you the ball cap right now, just so you know what you're in for. Let me bring it up here on my other screen. This is some ghetto stuff, I know, doing this way, but hey, folks, I had this whole presentation all set to go, but the Murphy's Law and the tech wizard that I'm not kind of had a lot to say about that. So here we go. That's going to be the hat I'm going to give away at the end of this live stream. If you are interested in that, I'd be more than happy to send that out to one of you lucky folks. That is a legacy brand, classic low-profile trucker hat with the Task Force Raven logo on it. You see, got a Raven with the tomahawk and the a Texas Ranger badge in the background. So if you're interested in that, by all means. Oh, I see somebody that has just popped up on the screen, and there is I have named a character after this individual who just popped up on the screen, and I'm real excited for him. He just retired after a career of service, and welcome to the party, and thank you for letting me use your name. You are also getting a signed book. Not that you won the sweepstakes, you let me use your name, so that kind of goes without saying. All right, so let me just talk. Zoe just popped up and said that she's watching, and she said her baby boy is watching also and is very excited by that. So right now, I've got a few nice things. And yes, Joshua, I did know that. I did know that the 19th in Texas, and there's actually a component of the 20th group in Texas that they have special forces contingent to them. They have a SIF also attached to them, and that actually is you'll see that in Reaper and how it plays in and connects in there. Joshua and Andrew and Deb and Zoe have been great with the comments so far. Kylan, thank you. Right. I'm happy I got it right. I'm very happy I got your name right. I appreciate that comment, Deb. That's outstanding. And thank you also, Deb, for ordering all the platforms. You're a superstar support. I appreciate that. Let me tell you a little bit while I'm waiting for you guys, and thank you for those nice comments also, Deb. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. I have Kaylee has stepped in. I appreciate you being here, Kaylee. I appreciate you saying we are here. I appreciate that as well. Let's see. Kylan, thank you for signing up and downloading Raven's Wrath. And thank you for complimenting the ball cap. I had that made, and I actually have other ones like that. This is the same platform hat, and they're very comfortable, very nice and cool for the summer. And I like the camo kind of speaks to the military background, and the logo speaks to the task force. I'll have more of those, and at some point I'll have a merch store up and running on my website where we'll have that and some other Task Force Raven logoed stuff and going forward. So let me hear from you guys. We're not a huge crowd here today. That might also owe to the fact that it took me so long to get this thing going. I was 20 minutes late getting this thing going, and I profusely apologize for that. I'm embarrassed by that, but the next one we do will be even better, and I'll have all that neat audio-visual stuff set up that I worked on. Had a hard time sleeping last night. I was excited about launch day, and so I got up about 4:30 this morning and started working on that, and ran out of time because I couldn't get it going. But that's a me issue, not a you issue. All right, so what's coming up? What's coming up in the Task Force Raven series? The second book. I'm going to go a little bit of a different route. So I've been self-published to date, but I am going to be looking at a hybrid model where I am going to seek out and shop out the manuscript for the second book in the series, as well as future ones. I'm going to be looking and trying to engage the services of a literary agent this summer, as well as a publisher, a traditional publisher for my future works. I've actually had some incredibly generous and incredibly kind-hearted, kind of big-time authors that I've been engaging with that have offered me some advice and have taken the time out of their busy schedule. Kind of blew me away. I never saw that coming. They actually responded to queries and emails. I was very pleased about that. In a few weeks, I'm going to be traveling up to New York to go to Thriller Fest. Thriller Fest is the premier author and writers convention for thrillers, military fiction, police fiction, things of that nature, action adventure stuff. And they actually have a component of Thriller Fest. They have a lot of big name artists that come and visit and put on seminars and forums. And as a part of that, they have what's called Pitch Fest, and it's kind of like a speed dating event for authors shopping their manuscripts to meet with literary agents and with publishers, kind of in a speed dating. It literally is a huge room where you sit down for 3 to 5 minutes with one, and you take your best shot, you take a whack at it, and if they're interested, they'll contact you later and solicit your manuscript. So I've got my fingers crossed for that. I've also got a bunch of queries out to some literary agents that take a while to get back to you, and it's going to take me a little while to polish my manuscript anyway, so it's not a massive hurry. And then in September, I'll be going to New Orleans to what's called BoucherCon. That's a thriller, suspense, mystery, and crime authors event where I'll be able to do some of that stuff as well. I'm looking forward to that. I found out about those like a lot of people do. I'm sure that I'm not the only person on here that's a Jack Carr fan, and he talked about that in his podcast, so he kind of led me to that. He's doing pretty well for himself, so that's pretty exciting. And then of course we have the Texas Book Festival in Austin in the fall, and I'll be looking forward to participating in that. There's some other book festivals. There's other author events. There's a lot of really great bookstores here in the Central and South Texas corridor that I'm going to be engaging with and doing author visits and signings at those places as well. All right. So, it looks like it's that time again. I won't bother you with the sound effect again, but just imagine that I'm hitting that air horn again. It's time to give away our second signed copy of the day, and I am going to Kylan. I appreciate those comments, Kylan. You're talking about Thriller Fest and your action adventure book club today, and I appreciate that. Kylan, do me a favor. If you will DM me after we get off of here on Sam Houston Author on Facebook, just send me your horsepower, send me your information, where you want that bad boy to go, what you would like the personalization to be, and I will get that out in the mail to you. And I hope you enjoy that very much. Okay, and I'm still on the lookout here because I got one more giveaway to go, and it's the big one. It's the ball cap, which I think that you'd probably enjoy, any of you ball cap wearers. And if you're not a ball cap wearer, guess what? This sucker's going to make you a ball cap wearer. It's made out of space age material. It's made out of it's bulletproof. It's made out of a space age hermetically sealed fiber that it turns invisible when if you concentrate hard enough. It has Wi-Fi. It's factory grade, and 9 out of 10 dentists prefer it. So I think that this is a pretty good one to come up with. And all I need to see is an absolute fire take from one of you guys. I know there's a few people on there that breathe fire normally, so shoot me a comment in there that's going to just take me out at the knees, whether it's a joke, whether it's a cheap shot, whatever. I got thick skin as well as a thick head, so send it my way, and I'll select the winner here in a few minutes. Oh my goodness, Joey just checked in. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate that as well. Joey, that nice comment you're making. So that's outstanding, bud. I appreciate that. I hope we don't lose you, but if we do, we'll do this again. And speaking of doing it again, I want to do this again, but the next time I want to do it right. I'm going to have. I had some expert help that just we couldn't get it going today. I had a really cool streaming slideshow with everything, with music and with pictures and with all kinds of stuff. So we're going to do that next time. And next time we're going to do this right. But we have to have a reason to celebrate, right? And since this was just kind of a Sunday afternoon thing, and Sunday afternoons are great if you're sipping a beer on the river or if you're hanging out and doing something fun, but watching a book live stream is probably not what everybody's idea of a party is. That's why I tried to make it as realistic and legitimate as possible by drinking a Lone Star Blue. But if any of you guys are enjoying a nice cold beer or something adult beverage, let me know. That even might be the winner. Who knows? But what I want to do is I want to have a real party, a real after party on Facebook Live and make it a lot of fun. Hey, Joseph, thanks for being here, man. I want to make it fun. I want to make it interactive. I want to make it engaging. I'll have special guests here. We might do it off site. You don't have to be in the Ravens Roost to do this. If we're going to do it, we might do it in the backyard of the Ravens Roost where I've got a bunch of, my little tropical setup is back there. My tiki bar is back there. Or we might do it from the river. You never know. We might just do it from somewhere real exciting. Maybe we'll do it from on location at the Alamo or something crazy like that. But we'll do an after party. But again, I need a reason to celebrate. So what I would like to do is throw you guys a hell of an after party. Once we have sold, and I say we because you guys are part of my support group, you guys are part of the street team. Having been here, I appreciate that. I hope that you'll spread the word. And if I can knock down 1,000 copies of this bad boy sold, if I can get 1,000 copies of any kind sold, and that's a combined paperback, Kindle, the hardcover, the paperback, or audiobook. If I can get 1,000 copies of that sold, man, I'll throw us an after party. That'll be this is kind of PG rated. We'll have an adult after party where we can tell dirty jokes and get buck wild. And I'll have people here with me, and we'll play music. We'll just have a good time. My cousin has an entire karaoke setup, so maybe even we'll do that. You never know, but that actually might drive people off. So we'll see about that. So 1,000 copies, we get us a party, okay? And we'll party hardy. We'll do it right. Okay. So let's make that happen. The sooner we hit that, the better. So let's start wrapping this bad boy up, okay? So I'm looking through. Let's find the best comment of the day. Appreciate those kind words, Joseph. I really do. Joey, I appreciate you being there. Deb, you've been an absolute superstar in these comments. I know Kaylee, and I kind of thought Kaylee would spit some fire this way and win herself a hat, but I guess she's not in the mood to play. Zoe can also throw down with the best of them. Let's see here. Okay, that is actually a good idea. That's a good idea someone came up with. Well, someone asked me, how did you get the name Jake Baylor? I'll tell you how I got the name Jake Baylor. I took the first name from somebody who's very important to me, probably the most important male in my life. And it just might be my one and only son. So I took the first name from him. Baylor is a famous Texas name, going back to Henry Widener Baylor, who actually, his wife actually founded, through a land grant from him, Baylor University, whereas I have no real connection to Baylor University. They're an important Texas family, and they actually had direct connections to the Houstons. Now, I'll tell you what, for the hat, I'm going to ask a trivia question. In Raven's Wrath, you would have seen and the name of Jake Baylor's little ranchette. So I'm going to ask a multi-part question, and whoever can get the most of this right will win this hat. So so you know his name is Jake Baylor. So somebody tell me what his call sign is. Then someone tell me why I gave him that call sign. And then somebody tell me what his ranch's name is and why it's named that. They all are tied in together. And if you know one, you'll know them all probably. But if someone can answer that for me, I will. You'll get the hat, and I'll even throw in a little note with the hat that maybe it'll be a dirty joke or something, or maybe I'll tell you the name of the next book, something fun like that. So that's a trivia question. Now, don't everybody answer at once. I know there's a little delay here, so I don't want to bust anybody's chops too hard, but give me one answer, give me all the answers. Whoever can get the most of them, you're going to get a hat. All right. So again, Jake Baylor, he has a call sign. And to give you a hint, it's also possibly the name of something else that he is possibly the leader of. And that name is directly related to why he's named that, because maybe it has something to do with his lineage and his family tree. And his ranch is named something related to that as well. And I might have just mentioned a little something about it and given you a hint when I answered the question about Jake Baylor. Let's see. Raven's Wrath was a challenging read for, I get it. And let me address one of the shortfalls of Raven's Wrath that I saw afterwards. And this, I owe this to my editors and my ARC readers. They said, hey, I'm getting way too in the weeds with some of the descriptions of the weaponry and the gear and everything. And that's all fun. That's fun and everything, but when the story suffers for it, it's time to make an adjustment. Well, I made that adjustment. With Reaper. So, and in order to make it a little less challenging, I also put that acronym guide in there. So there you go. The gear is still in there. It's just not as belabored. It's not a whole page of description about one gun, rather than like it might have been in Raven's Wrath. Okay, I got some correct answers in here, and yes, Cullinae is the name of his ranch. That's correct. Now, that's correct also. That's Sam Houston's native name given to him by the Cherokee Indians who he lived among for a number of years. And being that Jake is a direct descendant of Sam Houston, that's where we get the name Raven. That's also where the name Task Force Raven comes from. And somebody did come up with Raven, someone came up with the name of the ranch, and someone came up with why it's called that. And yes, Raven is his call sign. Okay, those are all good answers. So looks like I had 3 people teamed up on that answer. So I'm gonna have to pick somebody from a hat to give a hat to. Maybe I'll pick it from this very hat. But let's see. And last call for anybody else that might want a hat, that might want to throw something else out. I'll give 2 hats away if I can get someone to. I'll give a hat to one of the people that answered, and I know that that's right, Deb. You're absolutely right. Deb's has all of the correct answers in one that came in before I announced the names. So Deb, you got them all right. So you're going to get a hat, my friend. You're getting a hat, and of course I'm going to need you to message me. However you want to do that offline, and give me a shipping address, and we'll get that to you. Good to go. Yes, Joseph, that's pretty close. His call sign is Raven. He's not from Houston, but that was a good stab at it. So, all right, we're going to shut down the giveaways for right now. We'll do more giveaways later. We're going to call we're going to call that after party we're going to have soon, hopefully very soon, after we knock down 1,000 copies sold. We're going to call that the Bourbon and Bullets after party. What do you think about that? Where we'll enjoy ourselves, and one of the things we'll do during that is we'll brainstorm. We'll come up with some story arcs. We'll come up with some character names, and you guys will all have a hand in the next novel. I'll get a lot of good ideas in there, and I'll put some stuff in there just for fun. Okay, and whoever can bring the best joke, dirty joke, whatever, to that party, I will put that sucker in the book. So kind of group deal. Okay, all right. So it's coming up on 1 o'clock. I know we started late, and I know we're gonna call it just a little bit early. but I don't want to keep anybody from their day any longer. You guys stuck with me this long, and I'm incredibly humbled, and I'm so grateful that you did. I appreciate it. Please, please, please go to my website and sign up, subscribe. That email list with my contacts is so incredibly important to me as a new author. And I would be incredibly humbled if you would advocate and pass the word that my book Reaper is live and available on Amazon under my name, SamStone. The link is in the chat here. I would love it if you would do that. I'll throw it in the chat real quick anyway. Your old man moment is there. And let's also put my website in the chat, www.samstoneauthor.com. Again, if you'll go to both of those. And lastly, my last ask of this, I know I've asked a lot of y'all, and I appreciate you being patient. My last ask is, if you enjoy the books, if you enjoy Reaper, do me a favor, and this is also crucial to getting traction with Amazon and the way Amazon works with their algorithms. If a book starts selling decently right off the bat, they will keep it at the top of the page. They'll keep it when you look up, when people look up books in military fiction or thrillers, they'll keep it at the top of the page, and that will help engage more shoppers and readers. So if you will if you'll just write a quick review, man, it could just be a few words and a rating. I'd appreciate that. If you like it, please go in there and tell me what you liked about it. If you don't like it, let's just let's take that book and let's just use that as a paperweight. Let's use that as an impact weapon. Let's do whatever we need to do with it, but I'd appreciate that. All right, folks. From here in the Raven's Roost, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. Sam Stone. Please remember, Raven's Wrath's still available. It's available for free download on PDF on my website, so you can go there and get that right now for free. And Reaper is available in 3 formats right now, and audiobook coming soon. So again, thank you. Appreciate everything. Thank you for all the support. Thanks for the love, and thanks for making this able. And a special thank you to my wife, my long-suffering wife, who has tolerated this, has supported this, and has lost me for days at a time when I am when writing. And I appreciate it so much. I love you, honey, and thank you for being there. My children for being who they are. They're all grown and out of the house, but every now and then one rebounds and comes back. But I'm proud of them as well, and all of my friends, my family, my loved ones, and the people that are here to support me. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. 1,000 copies. I'll announce it, and we'll have us a fine time. Thank you.